Hello, welcome to Chromebooks for Parents. This video is intended to inform parents of students in grades 6 through 12 about the devices we issue to our students. During this video, you will learn some of the basic expectations we have of our students surrounding Chromebook use. The first thing we tell students is that the Chromebook is school property. It is being loaned to students to help them with schoolwork. This is a school-owned device that students are allowed to use for schoolwork and for school communications only. Using Chromebooks that we provide is a privilege that students may continue to enjoy so long as they follow a few simple expectations whenever they use it. First, students should plug in the device each evening and make sure it is fully charged when they return to school. Students should get into the habit of charging the Chromebook every night. Each building will have a slightly different procedure for helping students if they forget. We encourage students and their parents to understand how recharging will be handled at your schools and in your classrooms as well. Next, students should update the device regularly. It has been powered down all summer long, so most students will need to update the device immediately. Updates are pushed out by Google every 6 weeks or so. When students see an arrow like this, they just need to click and restart the Chromebook. It only takes a few seconds, and it usually helps the device run better. Students are encouraged to always use both hands when picking up the device and always pick it up from the bottom. Students should never pick up the device by the screen. Students are usually provided with a case to help protect the Chromebook when moving from class to class. Students should make sure that the case is completely zipped shut before they start moving. We have had to replace a lot of Chromebooks because students have forgotten to zip the case closed and the device slips out, falls on the floor, and breaks. We'll talk more about repairs at the end of the video. Another big cause of breakage is compression. To avoid repairs, we encourage students to zip the Chromebook up inside the case and carry it by the handles. Students should not jam the Chromebook inside a backpack where it can get mashed between books. Please help us reinforce to students using the Chromebook is a privilege. When the Chromebook is not in use, most schools ask students to zip it up inside the case and put it on the top shelf of the locker provided. Students should make sure it is all the way inside the locker and then close the door and make sure it is locked. This will help make sure that nothing happens to the school's Chromebook while students are away. Chromebooks should never go into bathrooms. There is a lot of water in bathrooms. Water plus computer equals repair. Also, Chromebooks have cameras. Taking a Chromebook into a bathroom can get a student in a lot of trouble. So we tell all of our students, just don't do it. If students are on their way to class, they should drop off the Chromebook at their destination first and ask the teacher about restroom use before class starts. While we're on the topic of cameras, every student needs to understand that making any audio or video recording of someone else without their knowledge is prohibited in our schools. In some cases, it can even be considered illegal. It doesn't matter if students are using our devices or their own personal devices. Do not make recordings without permission. As mentioned before, liquids and computers are not friends. No drinks should be near the Chromebooks. Eating over the keyboard is a bad idea too because crumbs and other crud can fall into the keyboard and cause the keys to malfunction. Keep all food and drink away from the Chromebook at all times. On smaller desktops, a water bottle with a lid or a cap that seals the liquid inside is a better idea than an open cup. Students are told to avoid putting papers, pencils, pens, etc. on the keyboard and closing the screen. This can crack or stain the screen, break the hinge, and require repairs. There are stickers on the bottom of the Chromebook Most of those stickers are from the factory. Additionally, we have put an inventory number sticker on the device as well. We tell students, do not alter, pick off, cover up, or destroy any of these stickers. Do not put any extra stickers anywhere on the school's Chromebook. Remember, that is school property. Remember that the school's Chromebook is intended for students to do schoolwork on. It is not personal property and is not to be used for personal communications. Using a school Chromebook is a privilege, not a right. Your school's administration can choose to remove that privilege if student behavior requires it. The privileges that students may continue to enjoy are the direct result of the choices that students make. Students' Google accounts can be accessed from almost any device that is connected to the internet. Students are not required to take the devices home. Students can just log into Google with your school Google account at home on almost any device, and nearly all of your work will be accessible through Google Drive or Google Classroom. Plus, the less you transport the device, the less likely repairs will be needed. Please remember that there is no expectation of privacy when using school-owned devices. Now, what does that mean? First, all internet traffic on this school-owned device goes through the school district's filters first, even when students are at home. Any files or websites that students can access at school can also be accessed at home. Likewise, if a student cannot get to a site at school, they should not be able to get to that site at home either on that school-owned device. If they can, something has happened to the device and it needs to be examined by our staff. Additionally, all sites that are visited by a student on a school-owned device are tracked and logged, even from home. Any attempt to bypass our filtering or disable our monitoring software can result in loss of network privileges and loss of all computer privileges. If you notice that students are accessing inappropriate sites from home, please contact the school immediately so our staff can investigate and fix the problem. Teachers of grades 6 through 12 can see what is on every student's screens with device management software provided to us by Hapara. Your teachers can see all of the tabs that students have open on the school-owned device. Your teachers can force open and force close tabs on those devices as well. Hapara does not affect students who access Google accounts using home computers or personally owned devices, though. It only works on school-owned Chromebooks. Teachers and principals, however, can see every email that students send or receive through school-managed Gmail accounts. Teachers and principals can also view every document that students choose to store or share in their school-managed Google Drive accounts. Students should be constantly reminded, use the school device for schoolwork. Use a personal device for personal communications. We do not encourage students to link Google accounts to personal cellular devices like smartphones and so forth. Remember that the school's Chromebook is intended to help students do schoolwork. It is not students' personal property, and it is not to be used for personal communications. It is a device intended to support learning about school and curriculum-related topics. It is important to always remember there is no assumption of privacy when using a school-owned device. Now, we know that accidents happen. If Chromebooks get damaged or don't seem to be working correctly, students should contact their teacher immediately. It is the student's responsibility to know their school's procedure for getting a loaner and getting the device that they were issued fixed. If a repair is required, the first repair will cost $25. The second repair costs $50. The third repair costs $75. After that, the school principal will determine what happens next. Remember, using one of the school's Chromebooks is a privilege. The privileges that students get to enjoy at school are a direct result of the choices that the student makes. Also, a replacement Chromebook can cost around $250. The money paid for repairs does not count toward the cost of a replacement device, if one is ever needed. Students are constantly reminded at school to take care of the Chromebook that has been issued. Last, remember that students are not required to take that Chromebook home. Devices are supplied for use at school, and any student may be allowed to take the device home if internet access or a computer is not available at home. Remember that the Google account that has been created for each student is accessible through almost any internet-connected device, and Chromebooks can access documents they start on at school or create new documents even without an internet connection. Your school principal can be very helpful in answering any questions you may have about Chromebook use in your building. Thank you for joining us today.